What's going on, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Um, Sometimes you just gotta walk away. Uh, I'm gonna say this in a relationship sense, but it's also gonna be in kind of life lessons. And sometimes you just gotta walk away if you're in a relationship with somebody who's not content or not quote unquote happy, or you can't do anything to quote unquote make them happy, right? Sometimes you just got to walk away, you know. Sometimes you just got to walk away from people who you might like, but they don't really give you that same energy. So you got to walk away. Patrick, what's up? Number one, what's happening? You know, you just got to walk. You got to walk away. You know, and for a person like me, I say I've been in situations where I've walked away from people who I wanted but didn't want me, and I moved on. And then when I wound up seeing them after the fact, cool man, what's happening, man? You know, when I saw them after the fact, then all of a sudden, people want you when other people when you're with somebody else or when you're just not even checking for them, right? So sometimes you just, you got to walk away because sometimes um, you chasing a person, they like you chasing because it feeds their ego. And if you don't walk away, all you're going to do is drain yourself. Unfortunately, a lot of people do that at some point or another. You know, yeah, what's going on, DJ? So sometimes you just got to, bounce. And even, sometimes, and I said I'm going to stretch this out to a lot of different things also. So just so y'all know, sometimes you just got to walk away from your family. Not um, and I'm not saying walk away from your kids, but sometimes you might be put in a situation by your family, by your blood relatives, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, so on and so forth. And they don't get you, you don't get them, and y'all are going in two different directions, but your family. So the family connection binds you together, but y'all going on two completely different journeys in life. And sometimes to complete your journey or to fulfill uh, your journey, you might have to, walk away from the family. Just walk away. Like, hey, listen, I'm not saying you can't come back, but I'm saying to accomplish what you might want to accomplish or what you set to accomplish, you might not be able to do it with them now. You know. Yeah, you know about David Ruffin, Sean. you know, and that goes the same way with friends. Sometimes you can love your friends, but you might have to just look, man, I gotta go. You know, I love you, but where I'm going and where you going, you know, it might not work. So it's okay to come back, but if you got a certain direction, you got to do it. You got to do it. I was gonna get to that later, Patrick. You know, I was going. What's up, fitness mom? So even when it comes to you know, um, well, I do it now. Then when it comes to, I'm not even gonna say church folks, but I'm gonna say religious ideology. Sometimes you got to just walk away from it because some of the people spewing that ideology, they don't practice it. You know, And it's hard to listen to somebody talk to you about God, God's plan and God's will and God's grace. And all they do is do, well, I'm not going to say all they do, but they do too much ungodly stuff to take their word for it. And sometimes people use the disclaimer that, I know because God has shown me grace. And I hate to say this, but congratulations to the people that God has shown grace to. But normally, those are dysfunctional people. You know, you don't you rarely hear stories where somebody who's functional and competent said, I'm here by God's grace, because they shouldn't be in the position that they're in, or they made they thought it was over, but somehow with one door closed, another door open. And the only reason I'm saying walk away from those type of people is because unfortunately they have a tendency to keep doing bonehead things. And, you know, God's grace is always there to pick up the pieces. Well, God's grace might work for them, but it might, in the way they're doing it, but it might not work for you. So you got to walk away from that. I've noticed, people celebrate the shenanigans too often when it comes to that type of ideology, as I would put. Like, it's unfortunate. I'll just say that it's unfortunate. Sometimes, you got to walk away. Sometimes you just got to walk away from, propaganda, because of the climate, the political climate, people have overstepped their boundaries, and to the point where, because you watch something on television or you saw something on your smartphone, that you get to take whatever you saw and impose it on another human being that has nothing to do with what you're viewing. You know, your theory based facts. Yeah, I appreciate that. Theory biased facts. Yeah. So now it's like, oh, I know this, that, the third, because I've been watching this, and it's like, what okay, listen, I'm gonna just, because sometimes you just gotta walk away, because people will come to you and treat you in a manner. You know what? Let me use this as an example. It's similar, but so I was listening to a story of a person say that this person kept throwing shots at him, right? And at some point they got fed up and they threw a shot back, and it silenced the person who thought they was picking on them. Look, and then because of that, they told the person, you know what, you stood up, I like you because you stood up for yourself. Man, thanks, Howard. Thanks, fam. Hope you're enjoying yourself. You know, and they say, you stood up for yourself. I like how you stood up to me. And it's like, sometimes you just got to walk away from people like that, because you got to be out of your mind to go picking fights with people, and you want to respect them if they stand up to you, as if they slap the taste out of your mouth, you would actually do something about it. Because see, a lot of times people don't take into consideration, when you keep the person poking a bear don't really want no problems with the bear. They just want to rebelliously poke at the bear, like, ha ha ha, see, I can get away with this. So sometimes you just got to walk away, because the person poking a bear becomes the biggest victim in the world when a bear swats him in the face. So it's like, okay, it's now, I'm going to add this to this. Sometimes you just got to walk away from stupid people, and don't, like, okay, I was at the grocery store a few days back, right? And I was getting some things. So I went to the produce section. So, there's a row of grapes, right? So, green grapes, red grapes, black grapes, cotton candy grapes. You know how they do it in the sections. They section them off. And I was going to like these black grapes. But this was this Asian guy in front of me. Now we in a grocery store, mask on, pandemic per se, pandemic social distances. What does he do? He takes his mask off, he starts picking in the grapes. And then he picks them and he puts them back in. And then he grabs another bag. So my first instinct was to cuss him out. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to a completely different section now of grapes, and I'm just grabbing from the bottom because people are stupid. Because I can guarantee you people still do stupid. And this happened in the same grocery store. I was at what was that? The seafood part, the fish market. And this white dude was behind me. So he strikes up a conversation with one of the people behind the counter. And then all of a sudden he's getting him his fish. And I just turned around. I was like, oh, that's a smooth way to jump the line, huh? And then he just looked at me uh, like I was like nothing was gonna be said to him. And he could tell by, I'm not gonna. He was a big guy, but when he turned and looked, and I looked back at him, he didn't want no real problems. But this is the type of stuff that when I looked and I saw he didn't really want no problems, I was like, sometimes you just gotta walk away because some people just want to be jerks. That's what they get off on. You know, like sometimes you just gotta walk away. I was driving, fisherman. I was driving. I was working, and it's a it's a it's a what do you call that? I was about to say a cavalry. It's just like a cavalry of cars, right? Just like a cavalry of cars, trucks, cars, beeping horns, and I'm hearing them. I don't know what's going on. So it's a Trump rally, like with what I don't know, about 20 to 30 cars driving down the street. Yeah. Nah, and they just beeping the horns, blowing, and I'm looking at them like, bro, who cares? This is what y'all called each other to do on the weekend is ride down a side street, not even a main street, a side street, beeping horns, waving flags. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a problem because certain people want attention so bad, they're willing to click up to do dumb stuff. The Black Popeye. Savage was popping. So sometimes you just gotta walk away from people because some people just want attention and they don't care how they get it. They don't care what kind of destruction they cause along the way. They don't care about the inconvenience that they put, you know, um, other people in. Sometimes you just gotta, all right, I'm done. You know, I take the same aspects, to at work. Sometimes you just gotta, like, I walk away from coworkers, management, all of them. I'm like, you know what, it's nothing to talk about. Because sometimes you deal with people who just want what they want to the point that if you give them what they want, they'll be unsatisfied with that. And I know we've all had coworkers who really just want to take them. They got a miserable life or they having a bad day, and it got nothing to do with what's going on at the job. But since they ain't got the guts to fix what's going on in their personal life, they bring that animosity to the job. And sometimes you just gotta walk away. Sometimes people are manipulative and users and the type of individuals who they know how to play by the book when they're trying to get over, but they don't play by the book when it's time to do right by people. So those people you just got to walk away from. The reason why I said it is because at a certain point, everybody else is going to walk away from them too. Everybody, and you leave people left to their own devices. You know what I'm saying? Achilles, what's popping? Antoine, what's going on? Rachel, what's happening? You know, so it's like, you know what? You just gotta. All right, I'm done. I don't gotta deal with this because at some point you're gonna realize you gotta walk away from people who are digging their own grave in society. You ain't even gotta. You don't even have to be there to kick away the chair. You ain't gotta be there to watch. To watch them get rained on and flooded in or flooded out. Forget all that. Just like all right, you do you fine. Sometimes you just gotta walk away. You know. Now I'm gonna say this: even when you got kids that are disrespectful, sometimes you gotta walk away from them because you know that if I don't, I'm gonna break your neck. Because the same rebellious, disrespectful kids don't really want no problems when you say what? What? I remember my friend was telling me a story about her brother, and her parents are married, and her brother they're adults, but her brother kept aggravating their father. He kept instigating stuff with the father, and he didn't and dad was like, listen, you might just leave me alone before I hurt you. And the young man was in his at the time her brother was in his mid-20s. So he's in the kitchen, his dad's in the kitchen, just chopping things on the chopping board or whatever, and the brother's still talking. He said, hey man, you need to shut up. So then when dad told the son, you need to shut up, then the son, oh, I'm grown now, blah blah blah. He walks up on his pops. His pops turned around, took the cutting board by the handle, cracked it over his head, walked out the kitchen. And when her brother woke up, then it was like, dad told me to, you know what, all these years, I thought my dad was a punk because he told me to leave, because he left me alone. Now I realize he was trying not to kill me. Now the brother wound up going to the military subsequently after that. I think he realized, oh, okay, I need to toughen up because pops ain't soft. Pops is just trying not to break my face. And sometimes it gets to that point because I know what that is because when older guys get like that, they sitting there like, I'm waiting for you to get big enough so I can really put it on you like I want to because you're getting on my nerves. you know. So when the kids are a certain age, sometimes you got to walk away. Levi, what's happening, man? So included with that, you know, sometimes, oh man, how can I say this? Sometimes you're gonna have to walk away from your sexual urges with people. Sometimes you just gotta walk away. You might really be attracted to somebody. You might really be what's up, Diamond? You might really be attracted to somebody. You might really want to be with somebody, but they're not good for you. You're not good for them. But how y'all get down in the bedroom is epic to the both of y'all. At some point you're gonna realize the juice ain't worth the squeeze. So you're gonna have to walk away from that. You know, you gonna have to say, okay, look, you know, it's electric, it's great, but come on, like it's one of those things where it's gonna cause you more harm than good. And because if you don't, you're gonna wind up getting involved with somebody because you know you and that person that you have great sexual chemistry with don't work out. But you're gonna wind up dipping back and forth to that sexual chemistry, even if you're in a relationship. And guess what? Oh, I didn't intend to do it. I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry. That type of thing goes on, right? And then when that type of thing goes on, an apology it does not really suffice because people think just because a person forgives you, that don't mean they forgave you to the point where you're gonna go right back and do the same thing. But if you don't walk away from the people that you're quote unquote attracted to, that it ain't gonna work out with, you might as well, you're gonna lose the person that you with. It is what it is. So sometimes you just gotta walk away. You know, sometimes you gotta walk away from. I'm not gonna say. Sometimes you're gonna have to walk away from a broken opportunity. Like and I've dealt with this on numerous occasions where you gotta, you can do more working as a team than you can as an individual. But sometimes when you work as a team, certain individuals in the group become problematic. Now, the thing about it is, are they more problematic than the goal? Or, you know what I'm saying? Are they efficient? And it's like, maybe, maybe not. Or if the group starts to take on that premise and they start to become inefficient and it breaks the opportunity because guess what? Everybody is not holding up their weight and people are being unprofessional. So now they're going to give you a bad reputation because that's your crew. And if your crew is giving you a bad reputation, no matter where you go, that reputation precedes you, and you always have to work through that. And if the crew doesn't want to fix the reputation, then it's just best for you to walk away. If you're on a completely different page, you know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere I go, I'm in the mix because of y'all. Everywhere I go, they expecting this, that, and the third, and it's always some negative stuff because of y'all. Because sometimes, you know, you can ruin the opportunity out of sometimes it's a competitive edge, but other times it's just the first time you felt like you was important, and now you blowing opportunities because your ego just went too far. You know what I'm saying? And when your ego goes too far, and you're involved with a clique that the egos are just have surpassed the goal, then you got to walk away. So you just got to walk away because the ego ain't gonna help nobody. That ego is not gonna help not nobody succeed. You know, sometimes, oh, man, you just gotta walk away. What's up, Cleveland? You know, sometimes you just gotta walk away from the dishonest people that you like. And what I mean by the dishonest people that you like, you might really have love for a person or a particular group of people. And they're not keeping it all the way 100 with you. They just not keeping it all the way 100 with you. And you come to find out, things on the back end. And the person that is not the person um, that's been lying to you. So now you're dealing with the same person, but two different aspects of their personality. And the fake stuff comes back to bite you. And you realize, oh, they okay, okay. They cool, but they got this hustle on them. And it's hustle in a bad way. Because that's gonna wind up turning into an altercation, resentment. Because sometimes you get cool with people and you think you look, y'all can look out for each other. When you come to find out, no, the person got cool with you to, you know, thanks, fam. You know, Donnell, thanks, man. I hope you've been well, fam. Uh, they got cool with you in the aspect of they were trying to get something out of you from jump. You didn't know that. So all this stuff came for you on the back end. You might as well just say, you know what? Let me get out of it. Let me just shake this person and move on. Because all you're gonna get is a victim story if you respond. And the reason I'm saying sometimes you just gotta walk away because let me let me be a little bit more open. Sometimes you gotta walk away from people because you might want to kill them. You might want to beat the brakes out of them. You might want to completely, utterly destroy them and embarrass them publicly in front of everybody. You don't even care who's there at the moment. You don't even care about the consequences. And if you get to that point with somebody, it's time to walk away because all they're going to do is make you more upset, more heated, and yeah, stressed out. and I'm talking from personal experience. Like I've told people in the past, look, if you smile, if you say I'm sorry, if you say my bad, I swear I'm gonna knock your teeth out. And I've done this publicly. Like if people like I've done this and does just say I've done it enough. You know what I'm saying? And what's up, Gigi? It comes to a point where if you gotta be like that with somebody, it's best to not be around. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta walk away. Uh, Sometimes you gotta walk away from your own temper. Because sometimes it's not other people, it's you. Sometimes you're the problem and you can't see you're the problem because your temper is what's controlling you. You know, keep doing your thing though, Donnell. You know, because sometimes it is you. Like I've been in there where like, okay, if you get into it countless times with countless different people, it ain't the people, it's you. And sometimes you got to walk away from your own temper to look back and say, what was I really mad about? You know? Yeah, yeah, Salim. Like, because if you don't walk away, you never think about, okay, what was this about again? Because, when you walk away from from a could be bad move and you come back a week, 2 weeks, a month later, family and friends get together and it's like, you remember that time you almost lost it because of blah blah blah. Like that's what I was mad about. Oh my God, what was I tripping about? you know Sometimes you just gotta nah, let me walk away from my own temper because now I'm so hot headed that I'm tripping. Like you ever been you ever went to like a restaurant or a fast food restaurant, it really doesn't matter, and you see somebody come in and just lose it, you know how come I ain't get all the fries? What's wrong with y'all? Give me some napkins. How like, wait, really? It was the order didn't make you go off like this. You can't tell me, you know, you said no pickles made you go off like this. It ain't that. No, it's something else. Sometimes you just gotta walk away. It's just it's from your own temper. You just gotta let me go on somewhere. You know. Now, sheep, what's going on? Oh yeah, that's where I started. That Yeah, that was where I started, Patrick. That was the first one. But ironically, sometimes, and I said I was gonna make this little 30-day change and challenge. Sometimes you gotta walk away from the things you like. Like, so I decided, to get back in better shape. So I gotta eat better. So now I gotta walk away from them Oreos. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the grocery store. Can't go to that cookie aisle. I want some pie. Can't go get no pie. You know, I want them chips. Can't get no chip. Sometimes you gotta walk away from the things you like and want for the greater good per se. So she Mike said she walking away from Offset. Oh, I thought she got that WAP though. You know what I'm saying? And put on the AC to cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. You gonna be big as a house if you don't. Sometimes you gotta walk away from that. Sometimes you gotta walk away from your appetite. Little Big Nate was popping. I'm 40, man. I'm 40, Rashawn. So sometimes you just gotta I can't do that today. I can't eat that today. I can't drink that today. You know that goes the same for um, beer, alcohol. You know, I hate that. For some people, man, sheep thanks, fam. Walk away from Frenchies, boy. But Frenchies is so good, Patrick. But I ain't been there in years. You know, but sometimes you got to walk away from, you know, how can I say this? I got a lot of family and friends that are avid weed smokers. Sometimes you got to walk away from that stuff. You know, like God bless, God bless the dead. My little cousin who passed. Me and him were talking years ago, and he said, "Man, look, cuz I'm finna stop smoking." I was like, "What?" He's like, I'm like, "You serious?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." So he called me about a week later. He said, "Man, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm sweating, I'm tripping, man. I'm shaking." I said, "Dog, you got withdrawals." He's like, "Nah, I don't have withdrawals." I'm like, "Bruh, you got withdrawals." He's like, "It's just weed, dog. It's just weed." And I'm like, "Okay." So a few days went by. He went to the doctors. He went to the hospital because he was shaking so bad and he was sweating so bad. And the doctor started running down what's going on, and then he realized it was withdrawals, but he couldn't tell the doctor. So he calls me back, and he's like, "Bro, it is withdrawals. Like, I feel like a whole crackhead right now." I was like, "I just smoke weed." I was like, "No, you thought it ain't just Reggie no more, player. You know, it's not like it just comes from the earth no more. It's always something in it now. You know, and you couldn't keep it running. You called for that one, Sketch. Walk away from Instagram and X videos. No, well, I mean, if you do something too long, you're gonna have withdrawals. But it caught him off guard. It caught him off guard to the point that he started to realize it was a drug. You get what I'm saying? Because most people who smoke weed don't look at weed as a drug, but that part makes you go, "Oh yeah, it is." And sometimes you got to walk away from it just to see. You know, and that's just part of the vices thing. You know, and sometimes you got to walk away from your vices because the need for your vices puts you in a bad position. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I've met so many people who had, like, when Patrick's talking about stay away from X videos and stuff. I met people who they love the nightlife, and that was all their vices was in the nightlife. That's how you wind up you getting robbed, you getting played. You know what I'm saying? It's not what's in the nightlife. It's just you love your vices in the nightlife so much, and you can't walk away from that. You become fair game to everything else. Man, you had to stop it, bro. Yeah, things become, it is like a money pit. You get robbed, you back at it. You get played, you back at it. It's like, yeah, and sometimes you got to walk away from attention. You see, because if you do stuff because you like the attention it gets, you're gonna be the one always putting a battery in your back to do something you ain't got to do. And like I was riding with my lady on a freeway, right? And you know how the cars go about and they start racing in the middle of the traffic. So it's a weekend, whatever. So I'm looking in my rear view. Now I got a work car and a when I'm off call. My off car is a sports car. So I can see behind me these cars are flying. So I see a Dodge Dart flying up and down the freeway, swerving through traffic, and then I see chasing it a 5.0. And they just and I'm looking at the cars when they pass me, and I'm like, you mean to tell me you wanted attention so bad you in a V8 racing a Dodge Dart like you couldn't catch it? You willing to, put everybody in traffic at risk because you trying to prove a point that you could catch a Dodge Dart. Now I'm gonna take this a different place. I used to go out, when I was younger, and this happened numerous times. There was a nightclub that I didn't know was like a gay nightclub next, like in front of a regular nightclub. So it's like it's a huge parking lot. The nightclub that everybody goes to is in the back. So like the gay joint is like in a parking lot, but in a building in the front. So the girls going to the quote unquote gay club, they getting out of cars dressed in panty and bra sets. And so they go into a gay club, they expressing themselves and their sexuality, because I'm guessing it was all girls in the joint. But forgetting that it's a club with all straight people in the same parking lot, right? So the chicks would be, oh, why are y'all looking at me? Why are you looking at us? What is y'all problem? Y'all are trifling. Y'all are. And then one of the dudes yelled out, yo, you came out the house naked. Shut up. You wanted everybody to see you. And then automatically, it was like, oh, and even the chicks that was looking at her like, see, she didn't want the dudes looking at her like that, but she wanted the chicks looking at her like that. And even the chicks looking at her was like, yeah, you did put yourself out here, you know. And I remember the same thing happened years later. I went to a Currency concert. If anybody y'all don't know about that Currency, y'all know about that. You know, Airborne Aquarium was my judge, but whatever, you know, jet life. Same thing happened. When I'm at the Currency concert, chick come in, bra and panties, walking uh down, was it Main Street at night, and she's all, uh, uh, what are y'all looking at? It wasn't even the men going in the concert. It was the bouncer. He cussed her out about it, and then she's, sorry. Like, come on now, you know, if you want attention that bad, you know, you might want to you might need to walk away from yourself for that. Like, you know what? I'm doing all this to be seen. I told my homeboy the same thing. Like my homeboy is my homeboy, he's from here. He's from H Town. So years ago, my homeboy moved to DC. Now, anybody knows anything about Houston, Houston has this like stunner type culture, right? Slabs, candy paints, chains, glasses, stunner type culture, right? So I told him, I said, listen, bro, you going to the DMV. What I need you to do, I need you to take your rims off. I need you to keep your gold to yourself. Take the rings, watches, glasses, all that. Don't do none of that when you get up there. And he like, bro, man, what you talking about, man? You know what I'm saying? It's H-Town. I said, I tell you what, make me a deal. Follow this advice. Go there and for 30 days, don't stunt. And just see the environment you in. He's like, why you say that? I said, because I lived in the DMV. You gonna mess around and get robbed. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna do the 30-day thing. So maybe he came back home about a year later. He's like, dog, I appreciate that, dog, because I would have got robbed like a mother, because they ain't playing. I'm like, yeah, man. So, it's like some people want attention that bad. And I've been out with guys who, they needed to be seen. And what you think happened at the end of the night with most of them guys? You get robbed. What's up, Faith? I hope you're doing good. Like, the other thing, sometimes you got to walk away from loving people too much. And it might sound weird to say. I hope it doesn't. But sometimes you got to walk away because you love somebody so much, you overlook their nature and who they are. Sometimes you got to walk away and look at them from afar and be like, oh, man, no, I can't. I love you, but that and that, I didn't. I love you so much, I overlooked that. Because there's certain things that you shouldn't overlook. You might be in a position that you didn't want to be in because you love somebody too much. Because sometimes you can love somebody so much that you make changes for them, but they never make a change for you. What's up, Paul? It's just shady side. Yeah. Like you can, you make concessions for them because you love them so much, but you don't realize they're not making concessions for you because you just so enamored. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to walk away from people that you love too much just to see actually how much love they got for you too. You know what I'm saying? It's tricky, but I learned that at an early age. Like, I used to call people a lot, and I used to be the person to give everybody their roses while they was living, and I did it so much that I started having to pull back. Like, you know what? I don't never get roses like that. People don't check on me like that, so I'm gonna stop calling. So now I'm on a complete. Thanks, Doc, man. Jeff, man, thanks, fam. Thanks. So now I'm on the other side of that, and I'm on the other extreme. Like, I don't check on nobody. I hardly call. Now I got love for people. Now I say I hardly call. I will call. I'll stop by, but I do things like randomly because I'm at a point I don't expect people to check on me. You know what I'm saying? I expect to be, yeah, I got Levi, like I get burnt out. Like I got burnt out. I was like, screw it. You know what I'm saying? People come see me. Come fly here. Come fly there. Come ride through. You know how much gas money and how many plane tickets I spent. Back in the days when long distance calling cost you. How many phone bills? How many times I had to pay an exorbitant amount of phone bill, and the other person didn't pay nothing because they wasn't never the one calling. That type of stuff. Like, you know what? I was like, I'm through, bro. Through. Sometimes you just gotta walk away. But oh man. And I guess I always say this, last but not least. Oh boy. Sometimes you gotta walk away. What's up, truck? Sometimes you gotta walk away from your fantasies, your hopes that I don't want people to think that dreams don't come true, but sometimes you got to walk away from the fantasy that you don't have to do nothing and it's going to eventually come your way. sometimes you got to walk away from that. Like you got to walk away and say, look, there's a difference between a dream and, there's a dream if I just think it's going to happen just because I exist. If I really want something, I'm going to have to make a goal and hit these points along the way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to walk away to fantasy that, you know, it's something just gonna happen for you, gonna pop because you got it like that. No, you're gonna have to take all of the small steps and trust the process. Be realistic. You gotta trust the process. You know, because if you don't, you're gonna get caught up. You're gonna be entitled, and you're gonna feel entitled and act entitled, and you're not really doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So no, wait. My birthday is not until November. Hold up. Yeah, you know what? I'm bugging on that. No, my birthday is around Thanksgiving. But uh, yeah, playing without execution is a dream. But I'm gonna get off here, and I'm sorry that you thought it was my birthday. I don't know who's. Maybe it's something has to get twisted in these comments. No, my birthday. I'm a Sagittarius. Let's just say that. Yeah, so that's not until late November. But thank y'all for coming. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Peace.